Well, Audrey, thanks for your time today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. You have a tour coming up, right, with Andrew Peterson?
I do. It's not a super long one. I think we're doing 10 cities, so it's kind of a catch us if you can, kind of tour.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to it. We've never toured before together, so I think it's going to be a really fun night for everybody.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a phenomenal lineup, having both you and Andrew on tour, and I got the chance to talk with Andrew earlier today, and I asked him for an opening question for you.
Okay.
Ask her, let me think. Ask her to talk for 20 minutes about all the things she loves about my music. I'm just kidding. No, I don't know. What would I ask Audrey? I think, I would, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. I kind of find I'm such a fan of hers that, I just kind of, am astonished at her gifting. I can tell you quickly, I've never seen anybody, her and Sandra McCracken and I and another guy named Aaron Keys, we're all in a songwriting session together. And Aaron and I broke off into a group to try to write a song. And then when we came back 20 months later to show them the snippet of a melody that we'd come up with, Sandra and Audrey had already written about 5 songs. So it's just and they were really good songs. It wasn't like they were, these throwaway lines. It was just this deep wealth of talent that they were drawing from. So I don't have any questions. I just have praise for her.
Well, I mean, it might have been the luck of the draw that day. I don't know why we had so much to say, but I guess we were chatty. I do remember that day, and he's so self-deprecating, and I think it's really amusing because anybody who loves his music would say, that he is an incredibly, intensely gifted songwriter with this sort of poetic flair that I think a lot of people really respond to. So I just think it's funny when he puts himself down as a songwriter because I'm like, that's what people like about you, right? It's just funny, We always see ourselves differently than we really are, so.
How true. Well, I would have to second his admiration for your songwriting ability, and I agree with you about his. Has songwriting always come naturally for you?
No, I didn't. Well, I never even really tried it till I was about 19. So really, once I started, it became pretty natural, fairly quickly. But I didn't grow up doing that, and so it was kind of something that I took to as soon as I actually had the idea to try it. But it wasn't something I grew up doing. No.
Wow. Okay. Well, did you grow up writing at all?
Yes, I grew up thinking that I would major in creative writing or English literature, and so I wrote a lot of prose and poetry and stuff when I was a kid. Never published any of it, but I did that quite a lot and journaled incessantly, and so writing itself, was there, but songwriting just didn't enter the picture till later on.
Well, I may sound like a fool asking this question, and if I do, I'll edit it out for my own, But I noticed that in a lot of your pictures, your hands appear to be purposefully positioned. Is that why? I guess I could go by just that response that it's not planned.
It's not. Well, I wouldn't say that there's anything intellectual behind it, but I will say that I often move my hands around a lot in photos because I'm not, one of those people who's going to jump around in front of the camera, but you have to give the photographer more than just you staring at the camera too. So one way that I do provide variety to them is by moving my arms and hands a lot.
I'm a fan of your music, and there's a lot of folks out there who have heard you sing in many different quote-unquote genres, to include CCM, hymns, liturgical, classic rock. There's Lev. If someone met you on the street, had never heard any of your music, how would you classify the type of artist you are? Because I think as a fan, I would have a hard time other than just saying,
right.
You just have to check her out.
Well, I mean, if I'm speaking perfectly honestly, I hope without any pride, I think an adequate descriptor would probably be prolific,
Yeah.
I'm not the kind of person, and there are so many different ways to be an artist, but I'm not the sort who can be so focused as to sort of hone in on one thing and always do it and always kind of become the master at it. I think I find my way by trying things. There's a great podcast by Malcolm Gladwell about different types of making art and how some people, will do 100 things and then cull it down and sort of curate it and make it something worth presenting. And there are other people who spend a year writing 10 songs, but those 10 songs are fantastic, and they will only record the things they write. They don't write extra things. And so I'm not either of those things in as a rule, but I think in terms of genres, in terms of making new things, different things, I just kind of have to try things out because it's there. So if I don't do it, I'm, going to be frustrated. And so I guess I just like to do all kinds of things,
Well, I think that's what a lot of people can appreciate about yourself and Andrew.
Yeah, and he's got quite a list there of things he does as well. I always love it when I go on tour with artists whom I respect as people and as musicians, as writers. And there have been a couple that have stuck out for me in memory, and one of them was I did a tour with Sarah Groves a few years ago, and I just remember sitting out there every single night and watching her entire set, which I don't think I've ever done on a tour before. I was on that one where I, nights on end, I just kind of couldn't not watch her show. Sure. And I think it'll probably be pretty similar with Andrew, I really like what he has to say, not only through his music, but, his spoken word as well. So I think I'm going to get a lot out of it, just being there listening.
Well, I was 19, you were 21, the year we got engaged, and everyone said we were much too young, but we did it anyway. We got the rings for 40 each from a pawn shop down the road, and we said our vows and took the leap now 15 years ago. And we went dancing in the minefields, we went sailing in the storms, and it was harder than we dreamed, but I believe that's what the promise is for.
He recalled meeting you backstage at a concert in Nashville that he had.
Yep.
And he said from that moment he was like, we got to work together. So
that's really
cool.
funny because I was very awkward because I tried to go for the front hug while he went for the side hug, and it was like this very middle school moment. Yeah. And then I was like, he's never going to talk to me again. But then he's like, hey, let's do a tour. So, you know what? I guess it worked.
To ask kind of a similar thing that I asked Andrew, I am interviewing an artist tomorrow. Her name is Holland.
Oh, yeah.
Can I get a question from you for her?
What does your hair look like?
What does your hair look like?
I've never seen her picture. I've only ever seen the cover of her record.
Well,
maybe I'll just Google that one. Maybe, in all seriousness, you can ask her who her favorite producer has been to work with. That's a great question to ask. And if she produces her own music. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd be curious to know that.
Well, Audrey, I appreciate your time today and appreciate you as an artist.
Thanks. Thank you for your time as well.
Most definitely. I know that the Edge of Dawn tour will bless many.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So I'll walk with you in the shadowlands. the shadows disappear. 'Cause he promised not to leave us, and his promises are true. So in the face of all this chaos, baby, I can dance with you. So let's go dancing in the minefields. Let's go sailing in the storms. Oh, let's go dancing